welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Andrew.
Good morning.
Let's go into some more pictures. We were right in the midst of them. We've got some beautiful pictures, and this is the oldest building in Natchez, Mississippi. And of course, Natchez is known for its historic old antebellum homes and old homes that were built in the 1800s, middle to late 1800s, that have beautiful yards, flower gardens, tours that are available practically year-round, probably year-round. And this building here was the, what tavern is it?
King's
Tavern. And this was purchased recently by Regina and Doug Charbonnet. Now, Regina was a Trosclair. Her daddy was from Opelousas, Joe Fred's cousin. And of course, we're going to show one of her brothers in a minute who owns a cafe, a restaurant downtown. But let's go back to the King's Tavern. It's a restaurant, and then they have a nice old bar, which is all part of that property. And they're gonna have a restaurant there, and Regina's husband, Doug, is going to open a small rum distillery there.
Oh, really?
So it'll be another tourist attraction for downtown Natchez, Mississippi. Regina, of course, had her own restaurant over in Sonoma, California. And when we were on a trip there, a group of us, we must have been about 6 couples, we toured and we went over to Sonoma and had dinner with Regina and her staff.
There you go.
And she has a bed and breakfast, by the way, in Natchez right now. So she is in business already.
All right. And then we've got
And then this is some pictures of the hotel. I stayed in the new, it's called the Grand Hotel. It's a rather new hotel right downtown next to the convention. They have a beautiful convention center that was built probably within the last 10 years. And that's the Mighty Mississippi. They have a beautiful new, small, I say small, casino. Beautiful. I went there and took some pictures and sat on the back porch overlooking the Mississippi. And the weather was starting to cloud up and rain. And this is just the beginning. And within about 45 minutes of this picture here, you couldn't see anything on the Mississippi. That's how cloudy it got and misty. And this is Natchez is part of the Mississippi Blues Trail, famous blues, and every weekend at this particular time of the year, they're having blues music all over town. And this is in the Eola Hotel, a motorcycle group traveling, and I took the pictures of the bikes. I'm always interested in motorcycling.
The Eola.
And that's the Eola. And that's the inside in the lobby, beautiful lobby. If you go there, even if you're not staying there, do like I did, go by and walk in and see this.
You didn't play the piano while you were
Well, they asked us not to.
It's a nice Yamaha Grand.
Yep,
nice.
yep. And
all the Oriental art.
Oh, yes, it's really, really beautiful. And this picture here, we're going to stop here for 1 minute. Je vais parler en français avec les autres. I met this young lady and young man who happened to be a daughter and a father. And they're from Paris, La France. And I asked them if I could help them, and they said, non, je parle juste je parle français meilleur, mais moi je peux parler français. On a parlé, c'était bien joli, et ils aiment ça, et moi j'aime quand je peux parler avec quelqu'un comme les autres. Bon merci à toi. J'ai laissé les autres blues et biscuits, café, restaurant. Et j'étais back au La Grande Hotel. Et quand j'ai marché là, le premier, il y avait un homme qui, he was at the front door.
Right.
Il était fumé son cigarette. Et boucané. Elle va boucaner. Et je dis, comment c'est dans l'anglais? Il dit, ben, moi, je parle pas anglais trop bien, je parle français, mais moi, je peux parler français. On a parlé français. Les deux groupes, ça parlait juste français.
Back to
Ça
back.
comprend. Ça comprend anglais, all right, mais c'est bon pour les autres que parler avec quelqu'un qu'on s'en peut sur un trip comme ça dans le français. Et il dit, mes amis dans le hôtel, allons parler avec les autres.
And the very next photo, they're from France too.
Les autres sont from France et on a parlé français. Ça me force une tâche. Je crois que je fais un meilleur job quand je peux parler avec les autres. Head to head.
Right.
Je fais un meilleur job.
Tête à tête.
Tête à tête, ça c'est correct.
I can handle that.
Et sont tous very, very nice. Hopefully they have an opportunity to watch it this morning. Good morning to all of you. Bon matin. C'est bien nice pour les autres parler avec moi parce que ça me fait avoir. It makes me feel good that my second language is being used. It makes them feel good that they meet somebody that can speak their language. Bien, merci.
And look at the barbecue pit.
Barbecue pits, that's one, and that's another one. They were parked right below the
Look at the wood.
my hotel room, and they were barbecuing for the National Guard
Very nice.
group that was having a convention. I didn't know that it was such a thing, but they filled up that hotel, and you can see how much they were prepared.
If you'd have brought your uniform, you could have put uniform on and just blended in.
They invited me. I told
you
them
go.
I served in the National Guard. They said, you are invited, but that was starting when I was leaving.
I see.
And pictures of the bridge from Vidalia into Natchez. And look at night. That's out of my bedroom windows
bridge all lit.
in my hotel room.
And then there you are, you inside.
I'm inside. And this, I've been talking about Peter Trosclair, mais ça c'est Peter. He owns Biscuits and Blues. When you go there, you'll almost surely, one of your meals are going to be spent at Biscuits and Blues, and I recommend it. If you don't think the food is good, bring the ticket back and I'll refund your money.
Damn, yes.
How about that, Peter? And this is at the old country store. And these are motorcyclists that had stopped and trying to get out of the rain. It was a rainy weather.
It's a V-twin Victory is what this is.
Yes,
Show
and
those
and
together, and I realized it's a Polaris. I didn't realize Polaris made those
I
Victories.
didn't know that Victory was made by Polaris.
That's
So
kinda
thank
neat.
you, Andrew, for
Figured that one out, but
figured
that's
that one out.
unusual, huh?
It's very small on there.
Then-
And he found parts here and there. This gentleman that owns this motorcycle.
It's triked with a truck back in is what
Truck
it is?
back in, yep. And he
And there's the back end.
rigged it up, and it really is nice and very handy.
And there's the other
And there's
bodies.
the other motorcycles.
And here's the group.
And here's the group inside. Good morning to all of you. Didn't get to give them, I did give them some business cards, so hopefully they're watching this morning. Good morning to you all. I hope your trip was good and safe, and return trip was just as safe.
And here's your bike. Oh, you
Yeah,
was in the vet.
I went in the vet. That's the second time this Corvette, it's a 2005, is the second time that it was in the rain. Can you imagine? I got to write that down. I wrote when the first one was. I went to see John one day
Right.
in Lafayette, and it was beautiful weather in Opelousas, and by the time I got to Lafayette, it was raining.
Let me kick over off the pictures for a second just to hit two
Yeah,
sponsors
then we're
while
gonna
we're in
come
this
back
segment, and we'll come back.
on the third section, right after the mid-break, we'll show all of the pictures over at Jim and Bab's
Exactly.
Derby party in Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is my next stop.
Right, and we go first sponsor. Let's go to Sears of Opelousas. You know, man, I was sitting around the house. I finished up mowing, and I wanted to watch the LSU baseball game Saturday. And as I'm watching the game, I got my laptop out, and I realized I'd run out of weed eater string and a few other things I needed to do stuff in the yard. I got on Sears online. I bought everything I wanted to buy through the store in Opelousas, told them to send me an email when everything was in the bag and ready. They sent me the email. I finished watching the LSU game. I got in my truck. I went down. I got all my stuff, so next time I mow, everything is ready to roll.
Well, how do I do that when I've never turned the computer on yet?
And free shipping. You got to find a friend to help you.
Yeah.
That's what you'll have to do.
Either that or just call.
That's right, or you can call. But I literally ordered all my stuff online
neat.
and don't have to pay shipping that way. Just swing by the store and pick it all up. I already paid for it with my credit card. Just walked in. I showed them my receipt I had printed online, or I could have showed them on my phone. Finished with that, went home. While I was in there, I saw Craig LaBeouf. He was looking at the house washers, looking for house washers. They got everything from the real small ones all the way to the nice big ones.
You think Melanie?
Big wheels.
You think Melanie had to use that?
I guess he was going. He said he needed one with wheels. I understood what that meant. It must mean Craig wasn't going to drag it around. It must mean Melanie needed it to roll. I'm sure she's the worker. He went out. He went hunt it and kill it. He'd bring it home and she'll use it. You see, that's how that works. But Sears has all that. They had mattresses in there. They've got all your lawn and garden equipment, all your appliances there as well. Go by. It's where America shops here in Opelousas. And let's also talk about Targill Seasoning and Supply. If you're looking for Targill seasonings, they can do mixes for you. They've got. They can do your recipe there, or you can pick from one of their recipes to do nice containers. They'll do all the art and graphics for you, do your photos maybe you want to put on those cans, butcher supplies, cutlery, kitchen supplies, baking and baking classes. Golly, I got a whole stack. Just to give you an idea, they teach classes on cookies in Bloom. Most of these classes are $25 or $35, most are $25. They've got petit four class, they've got children's baking and cooking classes, two or three types of classes for different levels of cooking skills, Dobosh and chocolate lace. You can go by, call them at 942-6276. They will hook you up with all the different classes on cakes and baking. And one more sponsor. Let's go with, How about Steamboat Warehouse? Get mama away from the smell of her own cooking. If you like all those Natchez pictures along the river, you can go down the beautiful Opelousas River, better known now as Bayou Catawba, there in Washington. Have the great steaks, the great seafood. See chef owner Jason Hugay. I know lately he's been doing a lot of dishes with escargot to be a little bit different. Also plenty of good Louisiana seafood and good steaks there as well, and great wine selection at the Steamboat Warehouse in Washington.
A couple of death notices that occurred recently. John, better known as Bob Doucette, age 86. When I saw that in the Morning Advocate, I said, they might have some kind of relationship to our Doucettes in St. Landry. Well, sure enough, at 86, he graduated from Grand Prairie. He was raised in Grand Prairie, Louisiana, and that's the same age as my brother Cody, so they probably went to school. I should have called Cody, and he went on to SLI, got his degree and in horticulture, and he was the co-owner of the Capitol Garden Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where he made his home for the rest of his life. Just to pass this on, and also learned that Joe Lalonde, who died a couple of years ago now, I guess time flies so fast, his mama died, Miss Lily Lalonde. She died April the 28th. Her funeral was held on May the 1st. Very, very sorry. Somehow I overlooked seeing that. Joe Lalonde, like I said, died, but his wife Rose, of course, lives here in Opelousas, the daughter-in-law, and she's one of the principals over at Opelousas Catholic.
You got it.
Then Joe's sister, who her first name is Rose, is married to Jerry Smith, who was Vicky's boss for many, many years. My deepest sympathies on their recent loss.
And we'll come back with more info after the 1-minute break.